Hey everyone, so I know it's been a while since I made a Air Force video for YouTube and that. So actually I'm here today to actually make one of those. It's about being stationed overseas. So my first base and my current base is I was stationed overseas. It's actually my only base. But I only can speak about the European area because I'm stationed in Germany. So that's all I can talk about. It's going to be a little different compared to being stationed in other parts of the world, but overall, the concept is I think a lot of people forget is the time difference. The time difference. Being stationed overseas is you're going to have a time difference if you're trying to keep in touch with family, friends, if you're in a relationship with your boyfriend, girlfriend back in the States. Simply put, in Germany, we're 6 hours ahead of the East Coast and we're 9 hours ahead of the West Coast, just to put that in perspective. So you have to keep that in mind when you might be trying to talk to them in the morning. It might be later in the day for them, or even nighttime. Vice versa, they'll try calling you at night, but you have to maybe most likely be early morning, so you have to work that around. I know a lot of people they have to only talk on people with Friday nights like that, or on the weekends. So that is something that people have to work around to get around that little obstacle. Another one is culture and traditions. That means when on base where you're stationed at, you're still going to have that. You're going to be surrounded by other U.S. military members, their families who are U.S. citizens as well. So you're going to still have that U.S. American feeling culture-wise on base. They're going to be speaking English. You guys are going to still celebrate the American holidays and like that all. But when you get off base, you're going to be in a culture shock. For me, who never traveled before joining the United States Air Force, it was such a big culture shock for me. It was something completely different, experience something new and out of the ordinary of what I'm used to. So when you go off base, it really depends. Like in Germany, for example, like I said, I only speak for it. Is they they don't believe of having stores open on Sunday. So that means any like stores selling groceries or shopping areas and etc. You maybe have some restaurants open and little cafes that are open, but overall the Sundays is more like a family relaxation day for the Germans. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, the German people overall they stare a lot. So that's something in the U.S. People would look at. You don't stare at people normally for a long time, so that's something you have to get used to. They're not trying to be rude; they just stare, and that's just part of the culture. That's an observation I make. I'm not saying all Germans do that, but something I've observed. They also tend to speak a little more loudly, and it's nothing. They're not trying to be rude. It's just they speak loudly compared to us at times, and it's something you have to get used to. It's nothing to be offended about. It's something that's originally for them. That's about their culture. They also have a lot of festivals compared to us. They have a heftier emphasis on having these festivals, especially during the summertime. They have Oktoberfest in the fall, Pig Fest, Wine Fest, Medieval Fest. They have all these different kind of part and like festivals during those times, and it's just a big tradition. They also have like little traditions of their own. Like they have something similar like to what is it called, Thanksgiving, Halloween, and all that. They still celebrate those big holidays like New Year's. What's it called? Christmas and all that. And actually, something very interesting. They actually on our 4th of July, they actually fire fireworks out there too. They're not celebrating the same thing, but we're firing fireworks and then they're doing the same thing. So that's something about like that and custom and traditions. Other things is they don't, they don't take the servers in restaurants. They don't actually take tipping, or like if you tip them, they'll take it, but actually it can come off as offensive because they here in Europe they actually think of waiters or servers as actually a profession. They think of it as something, and when you tip them, they actually make it seem similar like it's kind of offensive. They'll take the money still. That's something I noticed, but it's something not pushed on upon like compared to the States and all that. You might get randomly taxed at the randomest time. The bathrooms here, you have to pay for them. Even at restaurants, you actually have to pay for your meal to actually eat at the restaurant before you can use the restrooms. Like for example, at McDonald's and stuff, they give you like on your receipt there's a little code. So that's something I had to get used to, being able to use the restroom at public areas or restaurants. You have to pay like €1 to get in and use the restroom and all that. So that was actually a culture shock wise. They actually enjoy, the kind of food and everything. It's like They like their meats and stuff. They're very heavy on that. They enjoy their alcohol, especially their beers. Those beers are that actually there's that's a higher content, so it's a little different. So what I'm trying to say is pretty much on base, you're still going to experience the same culture. You're going to still have the same rules about underage drinking. You can't drink over your 21. But when you go off base and everything, for example, you're going to have those different rules. For example, they have the autobahn. The autobahn, there's no speed limit, or there's parts of it that doesn't have a speed limit. So you can go as fast as you want. They have different rules about driving. That's something what I observed is they have more roundabouts compared to the States. So that's something you have to get used to. So when you're on base, you have to follow the rules in there, and they have that aspects there. But off base, if the drinking age is younger, so for example, like if you're in the military and you're not 21, but you're off base, you can technically still drink. They have they have a younger age who can go into clubs and stuff, so you have that too. But here's something you have to apply: being stationed overseas, you're still responsible and you're held accountable for following the rules and laws of that host nation. So when you're off base Germany, you have to still follow the rules. You have to follow the laws. If you break them, you're going to get in trouble. Usually the police, they'll hand you over to security forces or something if something happened, hopefully nothing. But then, you're still applicable. If you speed, you're going to get a ticket. If you do something incorrectly, parking in the wrong places, you get a ticket. It's just some of those things. Oh, I forgot too. You actually have to pay for parking. That's actually something very interesting. Like even the garages, that's something new to me. Like I know like certain areas in the States you can park and you have to pay, but not parking garages. So that was very surprised. So that's the biggest emphasis I like to put on is it's state on the base. It's still like you get that American feel, but being stationed overseas, you're gonna experience those different traditions, cultures, and everything depending on your host nation. So it can be like completely different in Asia, for example, but this can be applied to by, Asia might have their own rules and customs, but you're still expected to follow their laws when off base, so keep that in mind. Also, the biggest observation I made, or biggest insight I made about that is compared to the States where there is very many different competitions for cell phones, internet, it's very different in the Germany and in Europe overall. For example, Germany has more stricter rules on like watching shows and all that. For example, on YouTube, they have blocked videos on there that I noticed when you try to watch it, it says your country has not allowed to you view this content. It's just because of, especially music videos, they just haven't made a deal, so they block those. So some of the videos on YouTube that are available in the States, they won't be available here. Just keep that in mind. I also noticed that their cell phone data use and their internet is not as fast as the States. I don't know if it's just the location I'm in on base, like in not base, but where I'm living in Germany, but I think that's just something I noticed. And of course, in the States, they had a wider array of competition. Like you had 4 or 5 for cell phones, like all those, and same with internet. But here in the Germany, we really had 2 choices for cell phones to really choose company-wise, and 2 for internet. So I don't know if that's just something because of the local area where I am, and that's what was available, or if that's just overall in Germany. And those are the like biggest things about being stationed overseas. You get a little more money being stationed overseas compared to the States, and it's just overall those 3 things: is the time zone difference, culture shock, and just the overall difference of your living and how it is. Those are the simple things that what I observed about being stationed overseas. But then deep down, truthfully, what I would say is everyone should try to in their career try to get stationed overseas and experience different countries, cultures, and traditions, and just overall see the difference of how it is. And it truly impacted my life for the better. I would never discourage anyone for ever not being trying to get stationed overseas. And my suggestion is, if you are stationed overseas, is overall get out there and enjoy the experience, and go in with an open mind and actually enjoy it. So I'm gonna wrap this video up, but everything I said, I just want to know this is not the Air Force's opinion, it's all my opinion. This is observations and insights I made. So if you like this video, please share it. I bet this can be applied to different parts all over the world where the United States Air Force is active. At the same time, please like this video and of course subscribe. I appreciate all the support and I enjoy making these videos. I hope you guys are getting the information you need. Comment below anything what you think, any criticism would be welcome, and also comment below of what kind of videos you want me to make. I'd be more than happy to do that. And of course, if you want to check out my Instagram, Kotaro Prince, I do about stuff about the United States Air Force and my travels, and of course Snapchat, Coach Harper Prince, to see my overall life. And last but not least, thank you guys, and I always will be appreciative of the support you give me.